Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we are going to be looking at building stack data structure a generic way. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So generics are something that is supported pretty much every programming language by now, and Swift also follows the same trend. So we can actually take a look how we can make our data structure generic so it can be created of any type. Okay, so we're going to use stack as an example, but you can actually use any of the other excuse me, you can build any of the other data structure following the same pattern. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to create a new node, new class called node.swift here. And we're going to create a node class, and that node class is going to be generic. Okay, so while initializing, we're going to define the type of T, and we're going to use that T actually to define our data. So we're going to say our data is going to be of type T. Next is still going to be same as node. And during the initialization, the data that's being passed into the node is also going to be of type T. Now say self.data is equal to data, and that's about it. So that's our node class. Now let's take a look at stack implementation. Stack's generic implementation. So we're going to create class stack of type T once again, and then we're going to create our head of type of head is going to be the node of type T. We're going to also create count to keep a track of like how many items are there, and we're going to create is empty property and simply return count is equal to 0 check. So it's basically going to tell if the count is 0, that means the stack is empty, otherwise stack is not. Now let's create our push and pop operations. So push is going to take data of type T, and it simply is going to increment the count first. It's going to check if head is nil. If it is, then it's going to insert that new node into the head and going to return from here. If it's not, then we're going to take the current head and assign it into a temp variable, and then we're going to make new node or new head, and head.next or new head.next is equal to be same memory address as temp. Let's create our pop, and then we simply need to decrement the count first. I'm going to say let temp is equal to head. If head is not equal to nil, then we're going to say head is equal to head dot next, and we're going to return temp dot data. All right, and then let's implement the last one, peak is also going to return optional T type. So you're going to see how T type is actually going to look like. So head dot data. All right, so that's our stack implementation. Now let's go ahead and do the main. And then in the main, we are going to be using this new stack. So like that, and you're going to say for I in 0 to 10 stack dot push I, and for our while loop, while stack dot is empty y is not empty, run this loop till that time, and print stack.pop or -1. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. It should actually, excuse me. So let's go. We have our head.next somewhere. There you go. Let's fix this. And there we go. So we are inserting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When we actually pop it out, it should be reversed. So as you can see, it is reversed. That means our stack is actually working fine. Now, reason I wanted to cover this really quickly here, so we can actually jump onto the next video where we're going to be building a queue using stack. And I want to show you, like, that stack can be built generic, and then you can actually take on that same example and build your queue using stack in generic way. Okay, so let's hop onto the next video, and we're gonna take a look at interview question that's very popular. It's called building a queue from stack. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.